Hey, good people. All right, so based on the title of this video, I know you guys are like, but what? She's always telling us not to eat animal products and animal proteins. But hear me out. All right. So why is being vegan not good for your health? All right, let's talk about what being vegan is in terms of how it's being practiced right now. The reason being vegan is just not working out for your health is because you're not really eating real food. All right. Um, I don't want to overgeneralize or lump everybody into one category, but the way I see veganism being practiced, and okay, and just so you guys understand, I've been in the plant-based scene for all my adult life. Okay? So, over 20 years. Um, the ones that last in this game, the ones that go the long haul, right, without having too many complications, are the ones that eat real foods. Okay, most vegans are not eating food. They're eating food-like substances. And I know it's good. This is going to offend some sensibilities, but I don't care. I don't care. Fight me, whatever. Right? But it's a lot of nonsense being kept up in the vegan community. A lot of nonsense. The biggest nonsense I've seen in the plant based community for years is this concept of transitioning. Okay. And what they do is they give you these food like substances. This is not food, these are food like substances. So you're taking isolates and you're creating something to titillate the palate, and you feed it to people and you say, here, but it's going to help them to transition and it's better than eating meat. And I'm here to tell you, no, it's not. No, it's not. You're better off eating that grass-fed steak than you are eating that food like substance. I don't care how you feel about what I just said. I'm telling you the truth. Eating food like substances, eating isolates are not good for you at all. Period, point blank. And they do not transition you. All they do is wreck your digestion and they get you addicted. That's it. That's all they do. I'm telling y'all, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've seen a lot. I've seen people come, I've seen people go. I've seen the long belly ones, we call them long belly in the islands, meaning greedy ones. I've seen the food addict ones. I've seen a lot. I've seen them all. I've spoken to a lot of them. I've helped to counsel some of them, coach some of them. They teeter back and forth. And the reason they do it is because they can't get their nutrition under control. And you can't get nutrition under control when you're eating food like some substances. You cannot use drugs to transition you. You can't do it. All right. That is one of the biggest nonsensical, idiotic, harmful nonsenses that's being perpetuated by the vegan community. And they say they give you this, the reason they give you is, oh, well, it saves the animal. It kind of doesn't, because if you put somebody on not on food like substances, right, they're going to feel worse. Most of them do. They always feel terrible. They feel worse. They get depleted. They're not getting their nutrition. And do you know what they do? They run right back to eating the meats because it feels better. It feels better. Of course it does. They're not eating chemicals. Okay? You try to get them off meat with chemicals, and either they go back to eating the meat because they feel terrible, or they stay addicted to the chemicals and they just keep going with that. I'm telling y'all, for the love of your health, if you're gonna go vegan, please eat real food. Please eat real food. Eat actual plants. Eat actual whole plants. Eat unadulterated foods, okay? I'm not going to tell you kick the salt right away because most of you just can't do that. Salts are an excitotoxins, right? And it takes a while. It takes a lot of discipline to get rid of salt. I know this for this is my own personal experience. I'm telling you guys, salt is an excitotoxin and most of you guys can't get rid of it right away. Okay? You need help with that. So I'm not going to tell you to kick the salts, but I'm going to tell you to not fall into the food like substances trap. Don't eat those meat alternatives. Do not do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Season your veggies and your plants really well, really tasty, and eat those. Try not to cook the life out of them, because if you cook the life out of them and you're depending on these foods, you're not going to get what you need either. Okay, so that's another thing too that's going on in the vegan community is, all right, so let's say you're not eating the those food like substances and you're eating the whole plants. A lot of you are cooking it to death because you're coming from that meat-based industry where you got to cook the pathogens out of your meat. You don't have to do that with plants. And as a matter of fact, you're depleting all the phytochemicals and the antioxidants and all the good stuff that you're supposed to be getting from the plant. When you cook it to death, that's what you're doing, okay? So you're cooking your plants to death. And in order to get that nutrition, you're going to have to eat more volume, which is going to be hard for you because you're talking about increasing fiber, which is increasing bulk. All right, so you have to find a way to actually properly get onto plant-based foods. The easiest way I've found, which might not be so easy to some, but to me it's easy. The easiest way I've found to transition is to go to fruits. It's just the quickest thing to do because you don't have to worry about cooking it. You can grab it quickly when you're hungry and eat it. It supplies you with all the carbs you need. It has minerals. It has water. It has fiber. There's prebiotics in there as well. So fruits really is the easiest way to go about it. Smoothies are a nice, easy way to go about it. And if you're going to do veggies, get a nice big salad in there. Okay, so maybe that's not the best advice because some of you guys don't have the microbiome to digest the fibers that's going to be coming with those greens, those veggies, right? So you might have to take it slowly with the salads and the veggies. But you can lightly steam your veggies, right? To help break down some of those fibers that you're not going to be able to digest very well. All right, so you can do that. I'm telling you, stay away from the adulterated foods. Stay away from the food-like substances. You wreck your digestion doing that, and then you blame the fruits and the veggies, and that's really not the way to go. I felt like I wanted to rant about this because I go out, I don't eat out, right? And sometimes I get this urge to go out and get something, and I'm always disappointed. I'm always upset with myself for even thinking about eating out because it's so hard to find unadulterated food. It's really very difficult. Even in places that profess health and wellness, either they cook the life out of the food, or they're mixing up the foods, they're combining the foods terribly, or it's just nobody pays attention to digestion, nobody pays attention to digestive health. No one does this. No, I hardly see anyone, even the ones in the raw food communities out there that have these restaurants, that it's just terrible what people are out here doing to themselves and their digestive tracts, okay? I'm not here to judge, but I'm telling you what I've seen, okay? So that's my rant for now. Stay away from the food-like substances. Stay away from them. You're not going to be able to digest them. I'm not trying to wreck anybody's business or business model out here because I get it. I get that, but these fake meats, these protein isolates, I beg you, don't do it to yourself. Please don't do it to yourself. It's just the worst way to get on to eating a plant-based diet. It is the worst. Hands down, the worst way to do it. Okay? Don't do it. Okay? Like I said, the easiest way, just incorporate some more fruits. Do understand though that if you are eating animal-based proteins and fats, this is going to interfere with your sugar utilization, okay? Because fats kind of clog up your receptors that the insulin has to act on. And so it kind of prevents your cells from taking up the sugars. And so you have to understand that as well, that if you're eating an animal-based diet, or if you're eating animal fats and proteins, you might have some issues when you move to the fruits and to other things, taking up the sugars. Now, you don't need insulin. You really don't need insulin to process fruit sugars, because fruit sugars are fructose, and insulin is required for glucose utilization. Fructose is handled by the liver. It's converted, and then it's taken, that's handled by the liver, not the pancreas. The pancreas handles insulin, which handles glucose, okay? Fruit sugars are mainly, you have glucose in them, but they're mainly fructose sugars, all right? Now, if you're eating animal fats and animal proteins, your liver is burdened, okay? So even though insulin resistance is not going to be a big issue for your fructose, what if you have a liver that's not online, if you have a liver that's a little bit fatty, if you have a liver that's burdened by processing animal proteins or animal fats, all right, if you have a liver that's burdened, then you might see an issue with utilization also of your fruit sugars. If you really should not have issues with fruit sugars. If you do have issues with fruit sugars, it means your liver really needs to be cleaned out and supported. That's really what that means, because you're not supposed to have issues with fruit sugars. You're really not. All right. Insulin resistance is a glucose issue. It's a pancreatic issue. It's an issue with fats clogging up cells. This has long been known. This is not new science. This is something that's already known in the scientific community. But for some reason, in the nutrition world, in the world of industry where people make money, this is not discussed. All right, but that's the real deal when it comes to that. And I'll make another video about carbs, because people have a real terrible misunderstanding of carbs, and you need them. I don't care what your guru tells you. I don't care what your alternative doc tells you. I don't care what any of them tell you. It's in your best interest to understand what your cells actually need, and where you can find it, okay? But stay away from transitioning vegan diets. That's not going to work for you. You're either going to fall back to eating meat, or you're just going to deteriorate and get hooked on these drugs. They're chemicals. That's really what they are. When you isolate chemistry, or when you isolate things, you're talking about chemistry. You're talking about chemicals. Your body doesn't recognize things in that way. It has to work hard to figure things out, because now things are out of balance. They're not coming with structured water. They're not coming with phytochemicals, nutrients, minerals, all these things that help your body to recognize it, to absorb it. The way you take things in matters. It all matters, okay? Even the spin of the electron on the minerals that you take in matters, because your body recognizes it differently and it treats it differently. I want you guys to start taking yourselves seriously. Start taking yourselves seriously, and stop listening to people in industry that want to coach you and take your money to do this and take your money to do that, and they're not telling you the real deal. They're just stroking you and rubbing you and say, hey, we all need to transition, and it's where people are at, and then bullshit. Your body works a certain way. Learn how your body works and adjust yourself accordingly. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. I'm not judging you if you don't want to do that. If you're fine where you're at, that's cool too. But at least you should know how your body works and what's really going on. All right? I love each and every one of you. I didn't mean to rant, but good God, it's really hard to go out and get anything to eat, because everything is just so adulterated. All right, you guys. Love you guys. Bye. See you on the next one.